I have a problem with us being in bed with dirtbags. I think Saudi Arabia is an evil country run by evil people, and I don't understand why we embrace the enemy of our enemy as our friend. I think in many ways we've taught them we don't stand for anything, so why not? However, how do we get out? If I understand it, your idea is just unplug from the Middle East.
Yeah,
how do we do that?
We just went in. We should just leave. But you know who it was that committed us to Saudi Arabia? It was FDR during World War II, because we wanted to secure the oil.
Right.
But because of that persistence, that was one of the greatest annoyances to Osama bin Laden, our troops in Saudi Arabia. That is what motivated them to really motivate enough people to commit suicide terrorism, and we have to understand that. I think that is so important.
Do you actually believe that if we walk away from the Middle East, that the terrorists will leave us alone, that the people in the extremist regime, let's just say, in Iran, is not serious when they call us the great Satan that will burn in the fire of the Islamic fury, that they'll just leave Israel alone and not destroy and push them into the sea?
I think they will, because they're scared to death of Israel. Israel, it would be more powerful if we weren't holding them back. I mean, nobody's going to touch Israel. They have 300 nuclear weapons, and we restrain them when they want to settle their disputes on their border. We restrain them when they want to have peace treaties or deal with the Arab League. So I would say they'd be much stronger.
So you're saying that we actually hurt Israel by being their friend? We should have no foreign aid to Israel at all. If Israel asked for our help, should we be involved?
Not unless the Congress authorizes, for war or something. But when you say no foreign aid, you say no foreign aid to Israel, and I say, oh, we give foreign aid to the Arabs 3 times greater than Israel.
Oh,
so
no,
I'm neutralizing things. So, we really neutralize things much better. Israel's in better shape by no foreign aid to anybody.
Yeah.
And so it's not anti-Israel, it's just neutral. We treat Israel like a second-class citizen. You understand the issue at home when you treat people with welfareism, they become dependent on the state. Israel's dependent on us, for economic means. We send them these billions of dollars. And then they depend on us. They say, well, we don't like Iran. You go fight our battles. You bomb Iran for us. And they become dependent on us.
I think you're mistaken there. I think we're holding Israel back from bombing Iran. I don't think that.
Well, yeah, that is my point.
Okay.
If Iran wants to do it, if Iran wants to, Israel wants to do it, we hold them back. So they lose their sovereignty to us because they become dependent on us. And just like I don't like to lose our sovereignty to the United Nations, Israel has become subservient to us, and I think we should protect their sovereignty and respect their sovereignty as much as I want our sovereignty to be respected.
There is a global movement within Islam that would like to see. I mean, I'll show you the pictures of it. I've met with the people here in New York City, and I detail them in a book that I just put out, where I show the pictures of the Islamic jihadist flag flying over the White House in a website. They have every intention of taking this country and turning it over to Sharia law. Are you really serious? Do you believe that this is just about us being over in Saudi Arabia, in the Middle East?
Yeah, I think that's a motivating factor, but I think everything you said is true. But you got to put it in perspective. You're talking about several hundred people, maybe now thousands since we've been over there. Al-Qaeda has been recruiting much better.
Well, it only took 19 to take down 2 of the biggest towers in the world.
That is the reason, because we have to put that in perspective. We stood down the Soviets. They had 40,000 nuclear weapons. We had Khrushchev pounding on the desk, say, we will bury you. He was capable of doing it. The Al-Qaeda does not have an army. They don't have a navy. They don't have intercontinental ballistic missiles. They don't have weapons of mass destruction. They don't have a country. They're very, very weak people in that sense. But they have determination. The determination comes from being provoked, and they have to have some reason to galvanize enough hatred to come here and do what they have done. So, no, it's not going to be, if I bring the troops home overnight, it's not going to eliminate what has been going on for quite a few decades. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be a lot better. And if we think that they only come here because we're free and prosperous, we will never solve this problem. We are going to be under threat, because if let's say the fighting quits in Iraq, and we keep those 14 bases and an embassy as big as the Vatican and think that won't annoy them people? It will be a thorn in their side, and we will be under as much threat. We are an easy target over there. They're quite satisfied for killing Americans in Iraq.
Okay,
but if we're no longer an easy target, they'll come back here. That is what my fear is.
So, Dr. Paul, honestly, before September 11th, I didn't care about the Middle East. They've been fighting for 5,000 years. They could have all fallen into a giant sinkhole. I don't care. However, things are different now because of, honestly, a lot of the, this ridiculous oil argument that we have, that we can't get the oil and the energy from our own property and take the oil and the energy and make even nuclear power that we need here in the United States. So we're finding ourselves dependent on these people. So if you can't drill it here, if you can't find it here, if you can't, create your own energy because it's so bad for the environment, what choice do we have?
Well, do what you think is a good idea. Become energy independent by drilling here and taking care of our own fuel problems and have alternative fuels.
Would you drill in the?
Would
you drill in the Anwar?
Sure, I voted for that.
Would you?
I think.
Would you drill offshore if we had to?
Yeah, but I would do this with cooperation with the states, because the states should have something to say about this. Sure. But in federal water, along Texas, we drill a lot down there, and it's a great fishing ground. Would
you, as the federal government, because everybody is freaked, would you say, you know what, I'm going to give you a loan guarantee if the United States government starts to make hurdles that you can't pass? If you're a power company that says, I want to build a nuclear power plant, but I don't trust you guys. I'm going to put all this money out, and then you're going to change all the rules on me, and then I'm going to be stuck for the money. Would you give a loan guarantee to those power companies so they would be willing to put out all that money?
No loan guarantees. That's a distortion. That causes malinvestment. What you want to do is get the government out of the way and let the market work. When the price goes up, alternative fuels will come in. If you let the bureaucrats give loan guarantees, then you might end up subsidizing some fuel that is not most efficient. So you've got to believe the market will pick and choose. If oil prices go sky high, we'll cut back on our usage, but somebody else is going to come up with another fuel. Maybe we'd use nuclear. We need to get out of the way for nuclear. Maybe we'd have electric cars for all we know.
Why do
government and politicians don't know what the best source is?
Why do you believe this has happened? Why is it? Is it global corporations? Is it evil big business? Is it evil government? What is it? Why do we find ourselves here? We are the most powerful nation on the planet when we choose to be. We've brought the 5,000-year leap for mankind. How is it we find ourselves in this situation?
Well, we've lost our way. We don't believe in the Constitution anymore. We don't believe in markets. We have to have safety nets for the poor. We have to have a safety net for the rich and the corporations and the bankers. We have a mortgage bubble crash. We have to bail out the mortgage companies. Everybody gets bailed out. So, yeah, we just lost our confidence and our understanding. It's a remnant of mercantilism, that you have to protect your supplies, your natural resources, and that's why we're over in the Middle East. It has to do with oil.
Help people understand, because you talk safety nets and everybody will say, well, you're just evil, because I believe true libertarian thought requires people to step over a homeless man as opposed to having the government bail them out. And I don't think most people will do that. They don't want to help, but they want somebody else to help. And if you are truly free, you have to help, not the government.
Yeah, and it should be more charitable, but if you're a humanitarian, you have to be a constitutionalist and believe in the free markets, because if you look at how we've eradicated famine off and on until the government gets back involved again, true famine was eradicated with capitalism and free markets. So if a person is humanitarian and care about the poor and the sick, you have to believe in freedom, because socialism and welfarism and corporatism, all this stuff, it doesn't work. You create more poor people and more people that are hungry. It isn't so much stepping over people as the saying that there will be so few of them and we'll have so much more prosperity, we'll have more charity. We'd go back to the time when the churches ran the hospitals rather than governments, and then we get government mandates, and then the hospitals have to close because they have to take care of people by federal government mandates. So we've messed it up because we've lost our confidence in the Constitution.